everybody! Welcome to the Untitled Sickos Project. Football season is closer to us. We are 6 weeks away, I think. 7? No, call it week 0.
5. I think we're 5.
I think it's 6. I think it's August 23rd? 1,
I think so.
3, 5. Oh yeah, we are 6, huh? 6 weeks away from week 0. We are booked full for the NFL season, for this coming NFL season. I can't wait. I am the MaskedAura. Joining me today is...
Hello, everybody. My name is Bears fan, and I don't know why I sounded like Markiplier there.
I don't know why you sounded like that either, but hello. I'm Nickman.
24 Amper, Noah Chronister. You've seen me around.
And I'm Juggerbear, and over the course of my brief vacation from the sickos, I got sucked down the Uma Musume vortex, and the horses really do be very funny.
Juggering your thoughts.
No, I want to know.
Horse code may keep Vosh as far away from this as we can. I sorry to bring politics up to this, but if you know his opinions about horses, you'll know.
Oh no.
God. Anyway.
Oh no. Oh no. All right. But before we get started today, there's a little bit of a welcome mat to get going. Kind of a last minute welcome mat.
Wait, Luke. I have a shocking report. I'm going to increase your rent by 50%.
That's 25. Anyways, the first thing note is, of course, as up here in Canada, we don't have access to ESPN Plus. Whatever
Yep.
Premium is. I would rather have ESPN Plus because it will have all my college football and hockey wrapped up into a nice little bow. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. But no, we can't have anything nice in the world. So Sportsnet just announced that they are going to increase their price for the Sportsnet Premium plan. It is going to go up from $249.99 to $349.99, or is it like $329.99? Like an $80 to $75 price increase for their services. And I'm somebody that is I will subscribe to this stuff for a long time because I am a huge I love watching my sports. Sometimes surfing the 7 seas, as nice as it is sometimes, the streams are very inconsistent in terms of like the quality, and then like they'll cut out like the most important points of the game, which is something I'm not really fond of. So I feel like it's just good to have the subscription. I have been subscribed to Sportsnet now for about 3 years. And for their service, it's an okay service, but my biggest gripe with it is you can't choose what RSN feed you get to watch. And to justify an $80 price increase when all you have is all the hockey games, I'm hearing the people getting raked over mostly is people in Ontario, because if you are in Ontario, you can't watch any games that is on TSN of the Senators or the Maple Leafs. You are blacked out for those games. I'm lucky enough where every single Vancouver Canucks game is streamed on Sportsnet, so I have zero worries with that. I've gotten access to every single game because I haven't been region locked. I'm learning for the first time that there's actually region locking, and I'm hearing a lot of people are really getting raked over the coals. I think this scenario, it's yet to come out to, or I've yet to be notified of it. So to justify this makes me think, man, the RSNs can't die soon enough. And I know Rogers for in terms of for Canadians, they are probably the most hated company in all of Canada. They recently acquired Shaw as they've gobbled up Shaw's market share because they merged with Shaw. So their services are not even that good to begin with, and especially for most common folks, they don't even are not even the region for Bell nor Telus. So yeah, not a lot of people like Rogers as a company to begin with. So to see these price increases when they haven't really done anything to change a lot of it is pretty shameful business. Man, I really wish I could subscribe to ESPN.
If you did it here, you'd only have to pay $10 a month.
Mm-hmm. I would get NHL and all my college football, and I would just annual plan for it. And the CFL is free for international. It's free internationally, so yeah, CFL does free international streaming on the website. So that's it's pour one out for all of Canada right now. As my we're really heavily RSN restricted to begin with. A lot of us just really miss NHL center ice. Sure, there were blackouts, but the ability to watch it anywhere in the world, even if you're on vacationing, one of the things the guy noted was that NHL center ice, he could still watch the games, even if he was vacationing in the USA. Can't do that with sports. That is just such a massive downgrade. The fact that you're now paying double of what it used to be, and way back in first season of Seattle Kraken, it has essentially
2021.
essentially it has doubled in price since then. So to me, this is the absolute scum and villainy. I have yet to be informed of the price increase. So it's yet to appear on my phone, so I don't think I have to pay the increase. Still $250, hooray! But if they are gonna jack up the price, I'm baiting on canceling. I don't know if I want to, because I click a button on my browser and it's all there. It's nice and easy. I'm all logged in and everything, but yeah, Sportsnet now. As much as people already hate Sportsnet as much as it is in Canada, I mean, they had Brian Burke, I guess, and Elliot Friedman's good. Kessler, good lord, he is a Canucks player too. Defenseman. God damn it, I can't remember.
If I may ask though about the whole, because you mentioned Rogers, and it's like I remember hearing something. I don't know if this was like a year ago or beforehand, but I remember there was like an outage or something, and that pissed a lot of people off in
Yeah,
Canada.
there was a massive outage, and the thing about Rogers too is a lot of debit machines run on the Rogers internet service. So if all of Rogers is down, people can't use their debit cards or credit cards for transactions, and that just again that was completely all down for businesses. So again, I worked in the food and service industry at the time, and people were super pissed off about that. All of Canada was extremely pissed. And again, it felt people wanted them to like give like a whole month's credit. It was down for one day, like half a day, and it still pissed so many people off. But you know, they got a half-ass line of credit, like a half-ass credit thing from Rogers. But yeah, people just really fucking hate Rogers. They hate them.
I mean, the only ever times my internet's been out is either from storms, one time someone digging without calling and then hitting our fiber line, and then another time someone literally stole our fiber optic cable.
Drugs. Yeah, all of
So
Canada
this is just Florida activities. Nothing new.
But other than that, Rogers is scum and villainy of Canada. I'm pretty sure there's there's several American company equivalents. Name any cable company.
Comcast. Oh, what do they say?
Yeah, Comcast. I hear a lot of people hate what's another really hate? There's like several hated TV companies. And
I think
Um,
Time Warner gets put in there as
And
well.
Warner.
what are
Yeah.
the internet service companies? What are the most common?
there's Cox. There's
I have
trying to
Cox.
remember. There's Xfinity.
Yeah,
There's
Xfinity's
Spectrum.
the one. Xfinity's the one that I see most hated in the USA. I think it's Xfinity.
And that's Comcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people hate. I think Comcast is probably would be the equivalent for Rogers. And the thing is that Rogers owns the biggest media in terms of sports for Canadians, and then in terms of they also are the majority owners of the Maple Leafs. So with the salary cap going up, it's who knows what kind of tomfoolery is going on. But the comments I have read online is a lot of people know a lot of people know. I'm really curious to see how many people are going to cancel their subscriptions going forward. But see. We'll see how much impact it does have. But I'm gonna debate if I don't get the. I'm probably gonna keep going with. Well, I mean, I don't pay for TV anyways, and I know like all of sports, like the amount I think I pay for in subscriptions. I do DAZN. I absolutely. DAZN has been a great service. It's like 250 like 220 a month. I get all the NFL, and I even get games on Peacock. I get the Amazon Prime. I've gotten all of those games still. Shout out to CTV.
Yeah.
Still get all of that. I'm not locked out of that, so I will still be keeping those. Still be keeping that, but Sportsnet has been the one where if you. So
YouTube Premiums also has a pretty decent deal on Sunday Ticket, where I think if you have a premium subscription, you get Sunday Ticket for like $197.
yeah, but the zone is like 220.
Yeah, I'd have to look into that though. So that
I don't think Rogers does much with Sunday Ticket. If anything, that is Bell Media. They're the one. It's Bell owns CTV, NTS. They have the rights to NTS. Bell are the ones with that are responsible for the end. But yeah, Sunday Tickets is also off. But that's why I just have Zone because it's simple. I have everything for. Wait, what is my DAZN subscription? What is my? Let me quickly check. Let me quickly log in.
Also, to KRB in chat saying that you miss your boys. I'm very sorry that we're all probably going to very much have negative opinions about them when we do
honey,
that.
We flat out don't like the Chiefs. You damn well know this.
No, not the Chiefs, the Cowboys. They said they're boys, so I'm assuming they mean Cowboys.
To the Chiefs.
Oh, I thought that was someone I knew for a moment. I didn't know that was
my wife.
Hello, wife.
Oh wait, sorry.
Hello, Luke's
The
wife.
zone is the zone is 250 now, right? They upped theirs recently. Oh shit, still worth it. Yeah, the zone's 250 a year for all the NFL, which is very much same as. So I mean, I still spend about $700 a year on. Probably isn't, but well, it could be cheap. I have no idea. Anyways, man, streaming is gonna get people. Illegal streaming goes burr. Let's sail the seven seas together, and let's get talking about the.
Luke, we can't say that. Our sponsorships are gonna hate us. How are we gonna get our sponsored by NordVPN sponsor now?
No, that's how NordVPN does sponsor us.
True.
Right, but we don't say we openly pirate. We say you can view things from outside your country. Outside your country. Wink,
Also, the
wink.
fact that people don't know what a VPN is, I'm pretty sure you can get a cheap and a reliable cheap VPN that can allow you to. Because I know with some sites, the same thing about Paramount Plus. It knows when you're. I can't even get the. And the fact that no one should have a Paramount Plus subscription to.
True.
First off, why would I want a Paramount Plus account? Second off, why would I even need a I'm joking. I will say this about Paramount Plus before we begin. They need to make more commercials. All their commercials are very good.
They're good.
Yeah,
They have South
make more.
Park.
Yeah, make more commercials. Stop holding South Park hostage while you're at it.
True.
They're
Make more commercials about Josh Allen throwing a football at Beavis and Butthead's nuts. Less
those
fucking.
assholes are holding season 27 hostage, man.
What the fuck, season 27
of South Park?
Oh right, yeah. Oh no. Fucking yeah.
For anyone wondering, go watch Bloom's video on it. It's a great video.
After this video, after the stream,
of course, after this stream, of course.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Nick,
I think it's time. I think it's time to get into the AFC West.
Nick, booby, you'll never make it in the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Anyways, time for the AFC West.
Starting off with the what kind of fresh hell did I open up? Wrong window capture.
Wrong window.
Wrong window capture. No, it's my curse.
Mr. Foot, you calm down. You calm your ass down.
No, it's my cursed window capture. I can't.
Ah, yes. Oh.
Just go back.
I saw it for a moment. It's
the cursed window capture. It's my cursed window capture. Sorry.
It's evil. It's evil. Division previews. I've heard of it.
How is this so cursed? What the fucking?
Off to a wonderful start.
Luke, did you make a deal with Patrick Mahomes before we started?
Why the fuck is this cursed?
Luke, why did you make a pact with Patrick Mahomes before we started?
Yeah, that is fucking terrifying.
It is absolutely. I thought, okay, let's one. Let's do window capture 1. Let's see, window capture 1. Window capture 1 should be fair. It should be good. It should be fine.
How did this happen? I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. How's this even happening?
I don't know. Okay, well, you get my get this one.
Oh, that's worse. That's worse.
Wait.
That's Satan. That's Satan.
Wait, no. This was. What the fuck happened? What the shit happened?
Don't worry, guys. They're just Don't worry,
Okay,
guys.
fine. Okay,
Lucas
there's a
was imitating
solution.
how
There's a
badly the
sol-
Raider season was last year.
There's
Ooh,
This isn't a glitch. This is a feature.
I see.
Okay, apparently Google Slideshow is fucking broken right now.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yippee.
How the fuck?
It's Google! It's okay, does apparently not, like, cause... Okay, fuck, dude, it's better if I just use...
Just try to put it full screen on just the slide.
Hold up, let me...
Maybe-
It might not like Brave. I'm using a different internet browser. Do I have to use Chrome for this shit to not be...
Oh no, it looks fine like that.
Yeah, I know it does.
Yeah, it looks good now.
I'm using display capture.
Okay.
I just want to see... Is it because I need...
Hang on, this is very big news coming out of the NFC South. Sorry to fast forward in our division breakdowns.
Okay.
But breaking news, Carolina Panthers quarterback Bryce Young says that he is officially Mexican.
Huh?
Yeah, like on
Oh,
his, I believe his mother's side.
Everything's just cursed. Okay, it's
Some of his family was
oh
born
wait,
in
no,
Mexico.
we're good. Display, fuck no, it's the fucking hell. Okay, well I guess it's gonna be getting this, you're getting this, you're getting this great production of this shit. All right, anyways.
Oh my god.
You're getting the display capture. Apparently full screening in slideshow mode is cursed apparently. All right,
It's very
anyways.
zoomed in. Oh my god. Chat. We insult the Chiefs once, and instantly they cast a fucking devil magic curse upon our live stream. If there's any reason as to why you need to hate the Chiefs, this is a reason.
I see they've already gone back.
Going full screen is apparently cursed mode. What the fuck?
Luke, maybe your computer just doesn't work.
I don't know. I spent $5,000 on this shit like 5 years ago. 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. I spent like $5,000 on this shit. Anyways, here are the significant additions for the Denver Broncos. You add J.K. Dobbins, running back from San Diego. Trent Sheffield Jr., wide receiver from Minnesota. Evan Ingram, Stonehands from Jacksonville. He's got tight end. He had Trey Greenwood from the Niners. And he added this guy from the Niners.
Talonga Fuanga, safety.
And
He
the
was
draft class, significant picks. I'm gonna go for their first 4 rounds. Add Jahad Barron, cornerback, Texas. RJ Harvey, running back from F.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Pat Bryant, wide receiver from the Illinois Fighting Alumni. You got Sullivan Jones, defensive end from LSU, and then you got Quay Robinson, Alabama, and your mystery bag, Jeremy Crawshaw, a punter, and then you added Caleb Loner, tight end from
Loner.
Notable departures are Riley Dixon, punter, Javon Williams, LeJordan Humphrey, wide receiver, Cody Barton, damn, and then Zach Wilson. That's Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an inside joke I'm missing.
Oh, did Luke have?
Oh. Yeah, I see.
Is there an inside joke that I'm missing here?
No, Spencer had an oopsie whoopsie.
Okay. Anyways, all together, this is. Oh, they retained Jarrett Stidham. Oh, yeah, this is their.
Yeah, this is their mostly full retentions. Wow,
Yeah,
I see.
Spencer did a fuck you lucky. Anyways,
To be fair, he was like dead tired last night
I-
when he did some of these.
Notice how I don't him for a spelling mistake or a mistake because I understand it is a mistake.
Also, Luke, I hate to yell at you, but some of the numbers, I mean, some of the letters are cut off.
I am slowly adjusting. Working on it.
But yes, the Denver Broncos. So, what is there to say about the Broncos that hasn't been said? They definitely overachieved last year, and they definitely shouldn't have been a team that made the playoffs. Now, that's progress for the Broncos, but now I feel like they've gotten themselves into a situation where there's too many expectations for them. Because now you're suddenly in one of the most stacked divisions in football right now, and just in general, you're gonna have to be dealing with some of the best teams. The Raiders went from like a B tier team, from like a C minus tier team overnight to a team that was B plus, and all it took was quarterback play and a coaching change.
C minus 2 is C.
I disagree,
We'll get to them.
but yeah, I think more than anything, they have a good roster. I mean, look at what Bo Nix did last year behind a solid offensive line and really only Cortland Sutton as his main wide receiver, even though Marvin Mims did have a pretty good second half of the season last year.
One thing that I'm really questioning about the Broncos this year is sophomore slump or a continuation of dominance of last year's draft class. Quarterbacks has been very, very good. Like the fact that you might this class could do the most unthinkable thing and potentially go 6 for 6 in picks just shows you, like, again, how good it was. Like, this is how you hype up a draft class and have it actually pan out. Because most of the time, for Q, you get one's going to be a Hall of Famer. You're going to get one that's very good, one that's a journeyman, and the rest are going to be forgettable. It happened with 2018, but you do have a potential resurgence of the Darnold. It's, you look at the year with Trevor Lawrence, where Trevor Lawrence might be an average starting quarterback with Justin Fields being the dreaming starting QB. So
2021, by the way.
2021. So the fact that this class has been every more than a grand slam, potentially a hit that's bigger than a grand slam, shows how really good. Now, every QB in this class is going to be under a microscope, and Bo Nix is different. Got a year of film on him. How do they? It's got a year of film on it. Especially with they now have Pat Surtain and Jahid
Jade Barron.
Yeah, Jade Barron.
Potentially a really great shutdown secondary, which is something that, again, coach, he loves to shut down corners. And if this is like Sean Payton, this is like a really strong Sean Payton. He's done year 3. He's done a fantastic job with building this team up as the computer. Him and Bo Nix have done a phenomenal job in year. They were surprised to make the playoffs, but this could be the start of the Broncos being good, or you get the sophomore slump, and we see the Broncos kind of back to where they're gonna get more worst game.
Here's the thing. I think, and I'm gonna spoil my kind of predictions now. I don't think there's any bad team in the AFC. In the AFC West, I mean.
I think we have to wonder if we could potentially see a breakout season for Marvin Mims Jr. Feel like he's going to be probably one of the biggest targets for Bo Nix. He didn't really do much last year didn't really get many touchdowns until the final 2 games, where he scored 2 in that hard-fought game against the Bengals, and another 2 against the Chiefs, even though that was with the Chiefs backups.
Right. I agree. It feels like a lot of young rookie quarterbacks really want that, like, very fast, speedy target, and that seems to be what they go for, because, like, whether or not that it's a wide receiver, you look at guys like Marvin Mims, you look at guys like, Justin Jefferson in Minnesota, you look at guys like Darnell Mooney in over down in Atlanta. You look at guys, you look at a lot of young rookie quarterbacks, and they really seem to really go after that speedster guy in year 2 after they get some stuff going. So, I think Marvin Mims could have a really good breakout year, but I still think the number 1 option will be Courtland Sutton at the end of the day because, I mean, he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in football. He's on a team that's been bad for most of his career, so he doesn't get talked about a ton.
Yeah, I mean he's been very underrated, and I think the Broncos wide receiver core is something to watch because how Sutton does, because he's been a very consistently good wide receiver that if the Broncos, you know, keep staying a playoff team or they become a playoff team for years to come, he will definitely get more respect that he absolutely deserves. I think something to watch for, Noah mentioned Marvin Mims, which is a good point. I feel like Marvin Mims, given he should be starting this season, because looked at I looked at football, Pro Football Reference, and he really didn't start many games last season. So I expect him to be starting a lot more, given it's clear that Bo Nix likes throwing to him. And something to watch for in the receiving department is Evan Ingram, because Evan Ingram is basically a low cost, low risk reward for the Broncos here. And the reason I say that is because if I remember correctly, he got released by the Jaguars because they really couldn't find any good trades for him. I mean, it was a similar situation to what happened with Christian Kirk, but they at least found something for him. So Ingram's with the Broncos now, and I don't know how he'll do. He might be best bet is they probably just be like he might not do much for them, but if he can provide something for the Broncos, because the Broncos could very much use Bo Nix could use definitely a tight end here. That would be very beneficial to Bo Nix. And Luke mentioned this, like Bo Nix is very much going to be under a microscope from every NFL defense that has to face him on the schedule, because of the likes of like Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, there is very much a lot of film of how they did last season, and really for like going into the second season, because we've seen sophomore slumps happen. We saw it with C.J. Stroud last season, where quarterbacks that have a great rookie season can take a step back. And a lot of that can come from the fact that NFL teams, NFL defenses have way more film to work with and a full offseason to work with to make those adjustments and find a way to neutralize them. And in the case of Bo Nix and Sean Payton, there's going to be a lot of questions about how they're going to handle that, because there's plenty of film for Bo Nix, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle this.
Not to mention too, but even out of all the quarterbacks come from the draft class, you can very well argue that Bo Nix is the quarterback with the lowest ceiling out of all of them. Now you may say, oh, but JJ McCarthy and his whole thing. The thing is with JJ McCarthy, at least he won a national championship. Bo Nix went from team to team to team to team to team in the college football realm. So more than anything,
he did do well, but yes, he did go from team to team, and in terms of pure talent wise, he does have technically the lowest ceiling of those quarterbacks.
And I'm probably gonna get clowned on for saying this because Miller will probably see it or something, but like Bo Nix really is just like mobile, not like mobile fucking not Ryan Fitzpatrick. But he's like the mobile like game manager, like every single mobile game manager imaginable. He just can do stuff on his legs. He can occasionally make a deep throw. He's not a guy that's going to... He's a guy that can take you somewhere, but he's probably going to be the guy that ends up... He's probably going to be the guy that ends up you're winning in spite of, instead of because of. And that's not to say Bo Nix can't improve and can't work well, but Bo Nix, we saw his ceiling. He has a really good floor, but I don't think you can really go beyond his floor. Like, what else can you really improve if you're Bo Nix?
It depends.
Well, I think wasn't Bo Nix one of the best chunk players in college football back in Oregon? If he
Yes.
completed a throw, then it was likely going to be a touchdown or at least a 50-yard gain.
Yeah, I feel like Bo Nix is like Bo Nix doesn't have like the talent that the quarterbacks in the 2024 draft class have, but I feel like he does make up for it with the fact that having watched him at Oregon and having watched him last season in Denver, he's a very smart quarterback. Like he knows he absolutely is a very smart quarterback, and he knows how to make the most of a situation because he knows what his limits are. He knows what he can and can't do, and he makes the most of it. And I feel like, of course, that knowledge will be tested with this season. But Bo Nix, I have a lot of faith in that even if he has struggles, which he probably will in his sophomore season, he will be able to adjust. And with the help of Sean Payton, I think Bo Nix should be fine. Now, there is something I do want to point out in terms of the Broncos roster because I love their defense, and I feel like not enough credit's being given to Vance Joseph for the fact that he went from the defensive coordinator that had 70 points dropped on him to creating one of the best defenses in the NFL. A lot of praise to Vance Joseph for that.
I agree.
Something that needs to be acknowledged with the Broncos, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Bo Nix, and a good way to relinquish that pressure, or at least move some of that pressure off of Bo, is to have a good run game. And something that the Broncos didn't have last season was a good run game. Like, led by Javonte Williams, right? It was Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams?
Jaleel McLaughlin and Audric Estime. Like, their run game last season was not really good. It was not good. Not good. And there's a reason they didn't keep Javonte Williams, because Javonte can be a decent running back too, but he should never be your running back one. Safe to say some teams have not learned from that lesson. But
one team will learn the hard way.
Yeah. But in terms of the Broncos running back situation, a lot of eyes should be on it because, of course, they drafted RJ Harvey in the second round from UCF. He had a great season at UCF. Probably the reason he wasn't talked about more was because UCF was kind of dog shit last season. But if RJ Harvey can do very well, that should provide a lot of relief for Bo Nix. Not to mention they also signed J.K. Dobbins, who had a pretty good season last year with the Chargers. He's a very talented running back, which the question with him has always been whether or not he can stay healthy, which hopefully for the Broncos case, he can stay healthy like he was able to with the Chargers, because I feel like the run game is going to play a massive role in how well the Broncos do this season, because if they're able to do well, then even if Bo Nix has like a sophomore slump, it will take so much pressure off of him and really elevate the Broncos offense into much more than just Bo Nix having to play it safe.
I agree. I will say this, I feel like they had a really great draft class this go around. They really went after a lot of needs that they needed to go for. Granted, I wouldn't have gone with RJ Harvey in the second round. A lot of people were very higher on Scatterbo, but with where Cam Scatterbo got drafted, I think RJ Harvey in the second round right now is a decent answer. More than anything, this team really just needed more talent. It's not like they're a bad team by any means. Their line's good. Their wide receiver core's good. Granted, they upgraded at tight end with getting Evan Ingram, and their defense has just been solid. So it only just becomes a matter of, can the Broncos beat the teams and I feel like they got the guys that they needed to get to help beat those teams. Though, I will say this. It is a little bit... I do still wonder that Juggerbear pick. Not that he's a bad player, but I don't fully understand the idea behind it. But hey, people went the same way when the Broncos picked Pat Surtain instead of Justin Fields. So more than likely or not, Juggerbear is going to turn into a Defensive Player of the Year within 3 years' time and going to become one of the best players in the NFL. Just because, the Broncos just do this shit. And also, to Nick's point, I think the pickup of J.K. Dobbins is phenomenal. They literally couldn't have gotten anyone better for running back for that team specifically, because they have the elusiveness in Harvey, but they don't have like that true ground and pound running back. And I feel like Dobbins is that true ground and pound guy that they needed.
All right, my viewpoint on the Broncos, because I just came back from doing the dishes, is that so for this entire set, I'm gonna be comparing each team to Uma Musume characters, because I need a bit, because I haven't been paying attention to football. So the funny bit, which you all are expected to laugh at, or I will be very sad, is the Broncos will be like Gold Ship. They should be good, but maybe they'll start a fight with someone and will suck.
Yes, another headhunting scandal.
I mean, keep in mind their coach is still the Saints had former head coach. How am I
Sean
forgetting?
Payton.
Sean Payton. Yes, I wanted to call him Manning for some reason. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe Sean Payton will start another headhunting scandal, get sent for a ride on the wheel of discipline, and the Broncos will fall apart after teams realize that there's this cool thing called film, and they'll find some secret weakness for. Shoot, I already forgot his name. We talked about him 5 minutes ago. Bo Nick. Oh. Yeah.
Just keep in mind, chat, whoever Jugger selects in fantasy this year, that's who's going to pop off for the Broncos. So if you're really wondering who's going to be good on the Broncos this year, just wait to see the Sickos draft, or
the 8 of us.
Well, yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and then potentially gaggle shit. Remember, gaggle bowl or whatever the fuck I'm gonna call it whenever it's time. But
I don't know if
he did it with JJ last year. But yeah. Anywho, last thing that I'll say on the Broncos before I get to before I get to the floors and ceilings. Can I just say, little Jordan when I went to do the notable leaves, I didn't expect someone like little Jordan Humphries to have a significant amount of stats, considering this was a guy that was floundering on the Saints practice squad for the longest time, and a lot of the stuff about this guy and memes was he was dog shit in Madden. But this man played 50% of the Saints snaps last year on the offensive side of the ball. How?
Sounds like a Saints fan.
Anywho, floor and ceiling. So, who wants to go first?
Regarding the floor and ceiling for the Broncos?
Yeah, so
Yep.
What do you think their ceiling's going to be, and what's the floor going to look like? Because predicting their actual record is...
I think at their best, they could be an 11 to 12 win team. I think pundits are predicting that they win at least 9.5. So they're at least going to finish with a winning record. I think they are a 7 to 11 win team. It all comes down to whether or not Bo Nix is able to connect with his receivers. Whether or not Marvin Mims can break out, whether or not Courtland Sutton can stay in his prime, whether or not the running game can still work, whether or not Sean Payton's defense is still going to hang on, though I think that's probably going to be a formality. I'm pretty sure that it's going to hold on. I don't think they're going to win the division. I don't think they're going to be a division contender, but I do think they could at least obtain home field advantage in a wild card game.
That's fair.
Did they do the playoff changes this year? Or is they still gonna
no,
be
they got tabled, I think.
Ah.
They 100% they're horrible ideas. I hate it. It makes winning divisions pointless. I saw that I've seen this shit happen to the
signed,
NBA.
though. That didn't get signed though. It wasn't that?
Yeah, it didn't get signed, but it should never be signed. It's a
Yeah,
dumb
I know.
rule.
I'm just saying. I think he wasn't asking about that. He was asking about just playoff system in general.
If the format's still going to be when your division hosts the game.
Yep.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
And
I will say this real quick, since I'll probably add this in the future, because I see a lot of people in it. For all you gambling addicts out there, Vegas has the Broncos win total at 9.5. So anything above 9.5 would more than likely win. So they think the Broncos are about a 9-win team.
I'm gonna give my ceiling for the Broncos. I think I'm gonna have to agree. I think 11 wins is where their ceiling is. Kind of because we need to see them like shatter, kind of like that, like that kind of like that B tier expectations that we have for them. I mean, to be fair, last year they shattered our C expectations for them, so does it line up again where they shatter our B level expectations for them? 7 being the floor, meaning that Bo Nix hasn't progressed very well. People have kind of figured him out. Just the offense is just doesn't click at all. Like that like the real underlier of the season could be Pat Bryant too. If it's another receiver that can just really be another target for Bo Nix, that's gonna be great. If RJ Harvey is does better than Javonte Williams, it'll be a team to watch out for. So, but right now, I mean, the positive thing I can say about it is that they finished third in their division last year, so they're not going to have a difficult schedule with the other AFC team finished third. So it's not going to be a deadly thing. But we'll see what happens when it comes to this year. But can they shatter my B level expectations?
I will say this about the Broncos. I have their ceiling. I think 12 wins is doable. 12 wins is the best case scenario, and the way that happens is somehow, some way, they end up sweeping the Chiefs. In which I think in this scenario where they sweep the Chiefs, they will win the division and be one of the top teams going into the playoffs. Now, granted, I don't know how far they'll make it in there, because we saw last year with the Chiefs that record doesn't mean anything. But I think this Broncos team, in general, has the hopes to be good. On the pessimistic side of things, this also has 5 and 12 reeking all over it. Bo Nix could easily regress and have a sophomore slump. And unlike CJ Stroud, I don't think Bo Nix has the intangibles that can help him out of that can help him out of a very bad spot and somehow help his team get there. Especially in a significantly tougher division like the AFC West compared to the AFC South. I think this team is going to be very volatile. When they're good, they'll be good. When they're bad, oh buddy, they're gonna be bad.
My floor for the Broncos, I'm gonna go 6 wins. If everything goes wrong, or it's like Bo has a sophomore slump, the run game doesn't progress, and it just feels like teams are figuring them out, and not to mention they're competing in a very brutal AFC West. I think 6 wins is fair for the floor. For the ceiling, I'll go with 12. I think 12 is a very attainable number for the Broncos if Bo Nix doesn't experience that sophomore slump, the run game will be better than last season. But if it's truly game changing for them and defense keeps being the Broncos defense and they get more production in the wide receiver unit, then yeah, I think the Broncos can very easily reach 12 wins. So 6-12 for the record.
Horse Racer, it's you.
Yeah, horse race. What if he's... Jugger, you there, buddy?
I'm still here.
Okay, what's your floor and ceiling for the Denver Broncos?
I mean, my floor, and this is gonna be the absolute, again, headhunt scandal to Electric Boogaloo floor is 5 wins. Like, that is everything burns down. Actually, no, I'm gonna say 6. Scratch that. That's again that everything burns down. The more realistic floor is more like a 7. And then the ceiling, like the highest ceiling, I'm going to say 13 wins.
Ooh.
But I have a feeling they're going to be in that, 10 to 11 ballpark. Good, but not elite. Probably they'll fluke a playoff win.
Maybe. Well then, up next, Luke, who do we have?
We got the Chargers with their awesome additions. They got Trey Lance from the Cowboys. They got Najee Harris.
Hey. Chat, let's laugh at Trey Lance for a moment and laugh at the Niners. 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha.
Hold on.
From what I heard, apparently with the Trey Lance trade, Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback from that draft class to not be traded twice. Not once, twice.
Jeez.
I mean, I would laugh at Trey Lance, but then with the last pick of the draft finding, I don't know what's... I feel like it's more impressive that they found a quarterback for the last pick of the draft. That kind of just makes it less funny, in my opinion. But Trey Lance from was by the Cowboys last year. Najee Harris from the Steelers. Mike Williams from the Steelers. Tyler Conklin from the Jets. Andre James, center from the Raiders. Mekhi Becton from the Eagles. And Deontay Jackson, cornerback from the Panthers. Their draft class, they got an error. O'Hari and Hampton, running back from the University of North Carolina. Trey Harris, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Jameer Campbell, DT from Oregon.
Mari Caldwell.
Sorry, DT from Oregon. Kyle Kennard, defensive end from the Gamecocks. And your mystery bag features Keandre Lambert-Smith, wide receiver from Auburn. O'Hari Gadsden, the second tight end from Syracuse. Branson Taylor, offensive tackle from Pitt. R.J. Mickens, safety from Clemson. And Chirikize Bridges from Florida. Leaving, Josh Palmer goes to the Bills. Joey Bosa goes to the Bills. J.K. Dobbins goes to the Broncos. Christian Fulton goes to the Chiefs. Morgan Fox goes to Falcons. Puna Ford goes to the Rams. And Nick Newman goes to the Texans.
That's Nick Neiman. Actually, get the Iowa player correct. We only have defense.
There.
Well, well, now that we have all that out of the way, let's get into the Chargers. Let's fucking peel this back bit by bit. So, the Chargers. Can we even say last year was a disappointment, even though they kinda got fucking belt to ass by the Texans last year?
It wasn't a disappointment considering the expectations. I think they exceeded expectations. It's just that playoff game was ugly. Very
It really
ugly.
was. Just keep in mind that this was a Texans squad that had no offense and was pretty much unanimously accepted as the fraud of the American Football Conference.
Yeah.
I feel like it. I don't know how you could describe a season exceed expectations and yet fall flat on his face in the same sentence. Really, I mean,
I will
It's a
say though,
Chargers. It's a Chargers thing to do.
I will say though, it was very impressive that they did manage to make the playoffs after what seemed to be a liquidation era for the team. Because remember, after the Staley disaster, people were saying that the Chargers were not only going to tank, but potentially just liquidate and have to start all over, minus Herbert, obviously.
but aren't you glad that Mr. Harbaugh from Michigan completely turned this team around? I know he's a good coach, and you've had your first full year of establishing the culture here for the Chargers. I think this is gonna be like this is probably the team that's like the sexy team that I think a lot of people are gonna favor really win the division. But then at the same time, it's the Chargers.
Yeah. This is a team that can either win the division or win 6 games. That's just how things go for them.
There's no in between. You're either gonna go win 12 or 6. You're not gonna go 7, 8, 9, or 10. You're either gonna win a lot or none at all.
Yeah. So about the Chargers. Is it time to talk about Herbert?
So, Mr. Herbert, I've been a fan of you. Ever play as a football player. Are you an A-level quarterback or a B-level quarterback? I can't fucking choose or decide. There are some times where I'm like, this guy is an A-tier quarterback. He is absolutely there. Other times I'm like, this guy is so average. He is like Dak Prescott, but a successful one out of Oregon. I can pick one. I hate this inconsistency shit. He's like Cam Newton, where for stretches he looks like an A-level quarterback, but then sometimes he's a B. Pick one.
Now, about Justin Herbert then, since we're clearly on this, since I brought this discussion up. Herbert's in an interesting position right now because I feel like there's still many people that understand that Herbert is, he's playing for a franchise like the Chargers, and he's also had to play for idiots like Brandon Staley. However, I feel like we've hit a point where last season, it really felt like we hit a point where I think people were officially sick of the whole hypothetical situations, always prepared for Justin Herbert, because I like Justin Herbert. I think he's a very good quarterback. And his ceiling is an elite quarterback. I don't think anyone should deny that. His ceiling is that high. However, whenever Herbert would have it feels like Herbert would make a bad play, and it was a bad play. Whenever he would make a bad play, it felt like the first thing I'd see is everyone making excuses for him. Everyone on Twitter always making excuses for him, and I think that was starting to it got on my nerves pretty easily, but it started to get on other people's nerves, which is how we got the what if man. And Justin Herbert right now is known as the what if man. Granted, he's not the only one with that label, but he's arguably the one that mostly gets associated with that. So you consider that, and then you consider what happened in the playoff game against the Houston Texans, where point blank, Justin Herbert just had the worst game of his career. Like, it wasn't even close. It was easily the worst game of his career in the NFL. And it's a game where I feel like it's brought in like the whole narrative of Justin Herbert down I feel like I've seen a lot of people stop with the hypotheticals, or at least I've seen more people stop with it. And now I feel like Herbert is in a situation where he can absolutely exceed expectations again. Because the thing with Justin Herbert, looking over his career, leading up to this, like his first 2 seasons, 2020, 2021, he was amazing. Like, simply put, he was an amazing quarterback. He was absolutely incredible. And honestly, the fact that the Chargers only missed the playoffs in 2021 because Brandon Staley's a fucking idiot really probably said a lot for what was to come. But I feel like since 2021, Justin Herbert has still been a very good quarterback, but he has not been to that like promising elite level that I saw in the first 2 seasons. And I feel like at some point, it cannot always just be the coaching staff's fault. I know Greg Roman has his flaws. Many fan bases will tell you all about his flaws. But when your coach is Jim Harbaugh, the excuses start to stop.
Yeah, I will say this. Well, first I'm going to get my joke out of the way. Justin Herbert is an incredibly talented quarterback. He has tremendous arm talent, has great mobility, and is able to make plays with the flick of the wrist, and is able to do almost anything that he can on the football field. Unfortunately, the dictionary was invented in 1755 by Samuel Johnson. So, joke out of the way. The what-if man with Justin Herbert, simply put, I think a lot of people understand that Herbert doesn't have any excuses anymore. I feel like more than last year, he was fine. I don't really think he's like, I don't think because of last year, I think he's like a what-if man or anything. More than anything, last year was just solid, decent play for him for the most part. I will say this. I think a part of where the what-if man stuff came from was that Justin Herbert peaked way too early. Like, think about it. When the Chargers drafted him in 2020, Justin Herbert wasn't expected to, like, light the earth on fire. He wasn't expected to show off immediately. People thought, okay, he's an Oregon quarterback. He may be a little bit of a process in making, whatever. But then he just lit the world on fire. So a lot of people have someone running off that high that Herbert was just one of the best quarterbacks for like that early period. So I think a part of the what if stuff comes from the fact that as a quarterback he peaked way too early, and thus a lot more eyes were brought upon him. So I think that's where a part of it works. But back on to the topic of Justin Herbert. I don't think we'll see that excuse anymore, at least coming into this season, because there's no excuses anymore. Granted, Herbert may not have the wide receiver core that he used to have, but I'll tell you something that I tell myself a lot. You can replace an elite level talent. You can't replace an elite level coach. And Jim Harbaugh is one of those elite level coaches. I think the Chargers going forward are going to be into a process of getting what they need to really get over the one true obstacle they have left. And I'll get into that when I talk about their floor and ceiling, but yeah. This team just needs to execute. Execution will win. Executing the play correctly wins.
I think the thing about the Chargers too is the thing that they have to overcome, like, themselves and the narratives that have been with the Chargers for decades and decades, right? Like, it is like, how many times have we just seen this organization just, they're like, man, this is the year they can actually do it. Holy shit, they can actually do it. And then they trip on a rock, and then they keep tripping on the rock, and then it just a giant comedy of errors of them tripping over themselves. And it's like you're able to tell, you can able like pinpoint, you're like, you know what to play. Yeah, Chargers are gonna lose this one. But dude, they're gonna lose this one. They're gonna trip on a rock and somehow find a way to the worst Texans team that the worst team that we've seen make the playoffs. That's the kind of thing that they have to really overcome, and I just don't know.
We'll say about the given we're talking about the Chargers, we've been focusing on Herbert and Harbaugh, but I feel like there's another name on this Chargers coaching staff that deserves to get mentioned because the job they did last season, for all the curses that the Chargers might have, the job that this man did last year was nothing short of incredible. And of course, I
Cameron
am talking
Dicker.
about Cameron Dicker's great though. I am talking about their defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. And Jesse Minter was he has a lot of history with Harbaugh. He was on the defensive staff for them. He took over as defensive coordinator once Mike McDonald left for the Ravens defensive coordinator job, and he did just as good, if not better, than the great job that McDonald did at Michigan, and they won a title. So he follows Harbaugh to Los Angeles, and he turns what was one of the worst defenses in the NFL, which also experienced a lot of roster turnover, and he turns that defense into one of the best defenses in the NFL last season.
The
And
best
I
scoring
feel like
defense in the league, actually.
true.
17.7 points allowed per game. They only allowed 301.
And it's like the job he did last season was nothing short of incredible. And for as much praise as Jim Harbaugh gets, Jesse Minter deserves a lot more praise than he's currently getting because that man knows his defense. Simply put.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the memes aside of like Mark Trestman and everything, I really think Jim Harbaugh brought an amazing coaching staff from Michigan here to get everything situated.
I mean, I always hate how good of a coach he was when he was on the Niners. I couldn't stand it. I like many Seattle fans just straight up don't like him, but like what he has the ability to do is get the culture in the locker room established, get everybody just on board with it all. I like his ability to have that there makes me want to believe in the Chargers. But then there's the thing that the Chargers do have is that the curse of cursed. The cursed. They're
Now, it
always
should be
cursed.
noted that Joey Bosa's not here anymore, I believe.
Yeah, Joey
Bosa's
Bosa.
gone.
They cut Joey Bosa because again, he's hurt.
It's the Khalil Mack show, which again, this is me just venting for a moment. I hate that they made the right move here because I wanted Khalil Mack back in Chicago. Fuck you, LA. He needs to come back home. LA is just his vacation spot. Give him where he rightfully belongs.
Fuck you, Spanos.
True. But, they made all the right moves this offseason. Say what you want, all these moves are to help the roster right now. Trey Harris is one of those guys that can just randomly be good because we've seen a lot of wide receivers come out of Ole Miss and just light the world on fire, especially in the second round. When you think of second round Ole Miss wide receivers, who do you think of? DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. Now, granted, you get the guy who fucking pissed on that did the dog pissing thing, and he ended up costing his team the game. I forget his name. I think it's Elijah Moore or something. But simply put, the wide receivers, especially coming out of Ole Miss, have a good track record. It's like a tight end coming out of Iowa. You're more than likely going to get a hit on that, or at least someone who can help produce at the NFL level. Not to mention, too, you're still beefing up that defense. Jamari Caldwell, Kyle Denard. Like, you got some solid guys that will help you produce going into this year on the defensive side of things. And J.K. Dobbins, a whole aside, Omarion Hampton is a phenomenal running back. He's one of the best. He was probably the best running back in this draft class if Ash and GT doesn't do what Ash and GT did. Yeah, they're another team that did the right things this offseason, and they just have to produce. Every single team, minus one of them, just have to produce. And barring anyone else having anything to say about the Chargers, or well, I guess Jugger has to do his horse bit.
I think I might
This
have
is
the
a
one.
tough one
I
with the
think I might
Chargers
have the
because they
one.
could go so many different ways.
I think we have the one. I think there's the one. I think I have the one in mind. It's the one that never won a race. The one that's based off the horse that never wins.
I was initially thinking that just because, that's tried and true Chargers, but I feel like they have a little more hope this time, but I mean, Haru also had hope sometimes, so yeah, I think you guys are right on this one. We're going with Haru.
I think Haru is the one.
Fucking loud ass thunderstorm out there. You shitting out there, God? What the fuck? That shit disgusting. You need to excuse yourself. Wait, was I not muted during that?
No.
Oh fuck. It thundered so fucking badly. Like
Good there?
This bit didn't work. Fuck it. Go on, Jugger.
Good?
What? What? I try to look. Not all jokes can be Marbies, okay? If everything was Marbies, I wouldn't have a voice anymore because I've screamed it out.
But alrighty then, floors and ceilings, everybody. Floor for the Chargers. I'm gonna go 14 wins. Sorry, the ceiling for the Chargers. 14. I think if they break, well, I mean, playoffs. See regular season. I think any record's fine. If they can do it, I think this is gonna be a one hell of a season for them. I think they have the team around them. They got the culture around them. Harbaugh is one of the great. Is a good coach. I think he's the guy that can do it. I'm gonna go 14. I'm gonna go ceiling. I'm gonna go 9. Sorry, floor for the 9. 9. 9 wins for their floor.
Really?
Okay. Go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead.
Okay. I guess for floor, given what I expect from Harbaugh coach teams, I feel like the worst the Chargers can do would probably be like the worst this Chargers team could be is not good, but not terrible. Like it would be very hard to imagine a Jim Harbaugh coach team being terrible. But given how competitive the AFC is, anything can happen. So my floor for the Chargers will be 7, and my ceiling for the Chargers will be 13, just a little higher than the Broncos.
My floor for the Chargers is going to be 7 as well. I think there's a future where the Chargers don't improve off of last season, and they just in general regress. Justin Herbert reverts to his what if man form, and just nothing seems to go their way. On the inverse of it, I have them winning as a ceiling. I'm going to go with the Broncos and say about 12 games. I think with how competitive this division is, I don't have any team really winning more than 13, just because this is a tough division. They have competition here.
I think for my floor is going to be 8. They have a lot of talent, and I don't see Harbaugh coaching this team poorly. But again, the AFC is just the Thunderdome, so anything can really happen. And the ceiling is 14. Again, they got the culture, they have talent. We just need like everything to mesh, and for Justin Herbert to ascend past what if man.
What do you have, Noah?
Oh, I honestly haven't really. Shoot. Of course, onto the spotlight all of a sudden. I think at their ceiling, they could potentially compete for the AFC West, but it really all comes down to themselves. I do think they could be an 11, maybe even 12-win team if they're at their best. I think Herbert is still a very good quarterback, kind of like Dan Fouts actually. Slow start, great start squandered by a pretty poor coaching, and now he's going to have a good coach. So this is basically part 2 of that Dan Fouts arc, seeing if he can actually perform seeing if he can. I'm starting over my words for a while. Really, I think it's all going to come down to how they make up for Joey Bosa. Though I do think that they'll be able to at least still have a top 10 defense in the league. I can see them winning 12 games. At their worst, probably 6.
There. Well, up next, everyone, I would like to, before we start, Jugger, would you like to lead us a prayer before we talk about our next team? I don't want to have any more voodoo magic.
Hang on, let me go get hang on, give me just a second. I'm gonna have to grab something for this one here. They're taking out the big guns here. Where did I put it? Crap. I got a couple too many books. Gotta try and find the right one. There it is. I was looking in the wrong spot. Alright. Yes. Okay. When I say big guns, we are taking out the Deliverance Prayers, a book of prayers read by an actual exorcist, because I have a feeling we're talking about the Chiefs next. We're not talking about the Chiefs?
We are.
We are.
Okay, we are talking about the Chiefs. Okay, let me go find the prayer.
And I will grab my Bible that my grandfather gave me for protection.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I ask Jesus to seal me in his most precious blood against any and all incursions of the evil one, in particular against any clinging, familiar, or retailing spirits, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Now that we have been protected, take us away.
For the Kansas City Chiefs, they're what the shit? No, that's not. Sorry, I looked at it weird. I looked at the whole background really weird. We got Jalen Moore, offensive tackle from the Niners. Elijah Mitchell, running back from the Niners. Gardner Minshew II from the Raiders. Christian Fulton from the Chargers. And Jerry Tillery, D. Vikings, their draft class this year, they took Josh Simmons in the first round. They took Omar Norman Lott, defensive tackle from Tennessee. They got Ashton Gillette, defensive end from Louisville. Noel Williams, cornerback out of Cal. Jalen Royals, wide receiver from
Utah State.
Utah State. Then their mystery bag is Jeffrey Bassa, linebacker out of Oregon, and Bashard Smith, running back out of SMU. That's their mystery bag. Their departures. Joe Tooney, guard, goes to the Bears. Carson Wentz, unsigned. DJ Humphries, OT for Rams. Nicole Hardman goes back to the Packers. Duke Hopkins are going to the Raiders. Justin Watson going to the Texans. Holy fucking shit. Justin Reed going to the Saints. Joshua Uche, defensive end, going to the Eagles. Derek
Naughty
going to the Jets. Tershawn Wharton going to Panthers. Holy fucking shit, what an exodus.
Mm-hmm. I will lead this off here. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse, and that's exactly what's happened to the Chiefs. And I mean, I hate to say I don't expect as much from them as last year, because they did win like I think they only lost 2 games last year, and one of those was like the end of season punt game when they had already sealed up the AFC. But I just don't see this team repeating that. They'll probably win the AFC West just by default as long as they have Kelsey and Mahomo. But
Yeah. It's look, the thing is with the Chiefs, they're always acting like they're not coming back. Every single year, I feel like we have this conversation, and every time it's me with the fell for it again award. Every single year, I fall for it. But after last year, you know, it's like crack, man. Sometimes it's just calling for me like the Green Goblin mask. You know, the Chiefs did lose a lot of people this offseason. The Chiefs also were playing some of their worst football despite their record. But then at the same time, I hear the angel on my shoulder going, but they made it to the Super Bowl. They beat the Bills. They beat the Texans. Granted, the Texans weren't that great, but like they beat the Bills. It's like an angel and a devil on my shoulder telling me, count the Chiefs out, and it's like, you're gonna look stupid. Don't count them out again. I don't know what this team is. Because it's like, I think we can all sit here and agree that this more recent memory of the Chiefs has been the worst showing of them, correct?
Yeah, I'd agree.
So it's like, how do you go into next season, like, even like saying, oh yeah, this team's gonna repeat their success, especially in a way tougher division, with more competition than ever, going up against teams like the Bills and the Ravens, and you're probably also going to have to go up against the Texans again too, the more competent team of that division. So it's just, I don't know what to think of this team, man. Every time I want to say they're bad, they're good. But every time I think they're going to get some stuff right, they do some shit like this and I can't say with good heart this team is going to be one of the best. But this team's confusing. I hate it. I hate the Chiefs.
We
There
all
should
do,
only
buddy.
be
We all do. This is a
there should only
support
be
group,
one
alright?
Missouri
You're
team.
safe here.
I think the way how I describe it is, until the Chiefs actually have the bad season or a down year, the second that either the day that the Chiefs lose in the division round will be a day celebrated by all. But will the Chiefs lose in the division round? No. Because ever since Patrick Mahomes has been a starting quarterback in the NFL, ever since he took the reins over, the Kansas City Chiefs have made the conference championship in the AFC every single year. That is the most Tom Brady shit I have ever seen. I I'd like to say, hey, you know what? I think this might be the year where the Kansas City Chiefs finally lose. But guess what? I'll believe it when I see it. I think if anything, last year's theme was lessons. Did you guys learn what happened with being arrogant got you? Did arrogance help you in the Super Bowl this year? No, arrogance did not help this team out at all. I hope that the boot on the other foot drops. It never does drop. I want it to drop, but it just somehow never does drop. This team's gonna go to the fucking. This team's my Super Bowl pick, man. This team's my
I-
pick to win the Super Bowl until they prove me. Until somebody beats them. Josh Allen has had chances to beat them. Lamar Jackson has had chances to beat them. What pisses me off the most, it seems like the only fucking guy that can beat him is Joe Burrow, who's owned by an owner that's on the same dipshit tier as Jim Irsay, but without the cocaine addiction.
Fucking the only Joe Burrow is the only quarterback that can beat the Chiefs, but yet at the same time, Joe Burrow is going to have to score 50 points a game. By the time they play the Chiefs in the playoffs, if they make it that far, Joe Burrow is going to be on his third hit of elephant tranquilizer and steroids, just so his arm can just slightly shift a certain way because of how much he's throwing. I'm not even joking when I say this. If Joe Burrow might have to get Tommy John after this season if he is going to have to be throwing this much with how shitty that defense is. But that's for another day. God, dude, no one likes talking about the Chiefs. Like, legitimately, it's the same thing over and 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 over again. They're the same exact storyline played out ad hominem. Forever. So, like, what is there to say about them? They got... The only funny thing that can really come up when I say this is, like, man, I really hate when our legends start ring chasing. And I look over at Mr. Gardner Minshew in the corner over there. I know what he's doing. You're not slick.
Well, I will say this. At least their defense is still legitimately as good as ever. For all their flaws, they have been kind of reverse Sutton. They've had a very shaky offense, but their defense has still been pretty good, and I can't really complain about that. I do have to wonder what they're going to do with their running game, though. I think one of the first major losses they got last year was Isaiah Pacheco's injury. Pacheco's been one of the more underrated running backs of the NFL in recent years. He was a critical part in their 2023 one in particular.
Right.
Yep.
They also get Kareem Hunt back. I saw that too on their retain list. Kareem Hunt is just like back with the team now.
Yeah, he was there. He was there last season.
Right,
I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't like a one-stop destination, and it's just weird. It's crazy how Kareem Hunt is just like everyone's fine with him again. Not saying the whole situation and everything was like good or anything, and like he should or shouldn't play. It is kind of crazy how Kareem Hunt kind of turned out, you know.
Yeah, that's just how the NFL works. Anyways, in the simplest way to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, everyone looks like fucking idiots talking about them. Let's just put that point blank. Everyone is stupid when talking about this team because every single year, everyone gets handed fell for it again awards because the Kansas City Chiefs never fall off. And you want to know something? That's true. That's very true. Because I know damn well the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to fall off until one of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, or Steve Spagnuolo are gone. Until one of those three are gone, they're going to keep being the same goddamn powerhouse that we've gotten used to seeing. And yes, last season the Chiefs were pulling a win out of their ass what felt like every single week. Every single week they'd find a new way, a new satanic way to pull a victory out of their goddamn asses. And yeah, that was very annoying to witness. It was very, very frustrating, especially when it would be against very bad teams. But you know what? The Chiefs, despite all of that, despite looking like one of the ugliest pieces of shit you'll ever see, they still made the Super Bowl. They still made the Super Bowl despite that. And yes, they got their asses kicked by the Eagles. They got absolutely embarrassed by the Eagles. And perhaps that is something that needed to happen for this Chiefs team with the way that they were playing last season. They needed to get humbled. They needed to taste defeat. And well, they got just that. But to what I said, as long as Mahomes, Reid, and Spagnuolo are with this team, they're not going anywhere. Like, that's simple. However, that's not to say that there aren't any cracks in this team, because there very much showed last season that there are cracks in this Kansas City Chiefs team.
Offensive
And,
line.
well, yeah, offensive line, especially with Joe Tooney gone, and the replacement right now for Joe Tooney is a second-year offensive tackle, Kingsley. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was drafted by BYU in the second round of the 2024 draft, and he's going to have big shoes to fill. And if anything from last season is to tell the Chiefs for this season, it's that you better hope his performance is better. Because the main thing I read up on Kingsley is that he basically kind of got shut down for the season because he was performing terribly. And I know that like Pro Football Fantasy isn't the end all be all, but if you want to know what his grade was in 2024, it was a 37.9.
Yeah, not to mention too, like just in general, Jawan Taylor and him performing his favorite Kendrick Lamar song before that album even came out.
True.
Almost every single
yeah.
play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like in terms of cracks showing, the O line definitely has cracks showing. Noah mentioned about the run game, which I would personally argue the regression of the Chiefs' run game last season is a big reason why the Chiefs were not able to pull away from opponents. Because for the past couple of years, well, since they drafted Isaiah Pacheco, until last season, they hadn't lost the Super Bowl with Isaiah Pacheco. In case you're wondering just how important Isaiah Pacheco has been to the Chiefs' offense, it's like Isaiah Pacheco is truly a massive part of that Chiefs offense. And with him getting hurt last season, and not to mention, he really didn't look like Isaiah Pacheco when he came back. I mean, granted, he had some good games here and there, but for the most part, he didn't look like Pacheco. And a lot of times last season, they were having to rely on Kareem Hunt, who, Kareem Hunt can get you some yards here and there. He can get you a touchdown here and there. But when he's your running back one in mid 2020s, that is not what you want to see. So lots of eyes are going to be on this Chiefs run game and how Pacheco and Hunt do. Not to mention they drafted Brashard Smith from SMU in the 7th round, and 7th round running backs can do very well. So that's going to be a big storyline to watch for this Chiefs team. But I just feel like with the Kansas City Chiefs right now, like arrogance will probably be down this year because they got humbled in the Super Bowl. You would hope to see arrogance down. But I also just want to say this regarding Patrick Mahomes, because look, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that it feels like Patrick Mahomes has been playing worse and worse football ever since Matt Nagy became the offensive coordinator. It's not
Oh
a
yeah, that
coincidence.
for sure.
Like, it is
Yeah.
no coincidence that since Nagy became the offensive coordinator in 2023, Mahomes has been playing worse and worse football. He's still good, but he hasn't been the elite level quarterback that people associate Patrick Mahomes with being. And I know that Andy Reid still has a serious control over a lot of the offense, but it's clear that Nagy definitely has a say in it, just like Bieniemy had a say as well. And it's very clear that since he's taken over as offensive coordinator, things just haven't looked the same.
Yeah, just the Chiefs. Why can't they just like be normal? Why can't you be normal?
Demon Possession does that to a fella.
Look, like, and the thing is, it's not like they are bad, but I want to say that they're bad every single time because I've seen what bad teams do. Bad teams do exactly what the Chiefs did all season last season. Except the only team that didn't change was the boot didn't drop until the Super Bowl, and then when the boot dropped,
It
was
hit on their
it was
ass
bad.
like a belt.
Yeah, it's just I'm tired of falling for them. I'm tired. They're
Anyway, this is a pretty easy horse analogy here. This one is gonna be Symboli Rudolph, the Everlasting Emperor. I don't need to say anything else with that nickname. Carry on.
I'm just gonna start off with my prediction so I don't have to talk about this dog shit team anymore. You wanna know what their ceiling is, chat? Their ceiling's fucking 17-0. Because this team will find some way to piss me off, and they'll find some way to go 17-0. They'll win every single game by 1 point to spite me. Because
It'll
God,
be nothing but 2-0 games forever.
oh no,
2-0
it's
Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes is gonna throw 7 interceptions in a game, but he's gonna throw 1 touchdown and he's gonna win that game, and it's gonna be fucking 13-14. Their ceiling's 17-0, and I hate saying that. You want to know what their floor is? I don't know. Their floor is 6-11, I guess. I don't know anymore. This team's broken me. I don't know what to say with this.
Yeah, no, same thing. I'm just gonna copy and paste your ceiling and floor. This team worships demons, and hopefully, with the Pope being American, he'll finally stop the demon sacrifice. He'll do an exorcism over Arrowhead, and it'll just be sucked right into the fiery pits.
Also, one last thing before I say this. For the Chiefs next year, they're gonna resurrect King Vaughn and have him play wide receiver for the fuck. No, they're gonna have him play strong safety for them next year.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'd probably say they're like 16. I'd probably say they're 16-1 simply because they can't beat the Bills in the regular season. Oh, they can beat the Bills in the postseason, no problem. But God forbid they win a regular season game against them.
That's true.
At worst,
Yeah, very true.
they might fall for maybe like 13 or 14 wins. Either way, I still have them winning the AFC West. I think the only team that could potentially beat them in divisional play are the Broncos. Probably the Broncos at home. I don't think the Chargers are going to do it. I really don't think the Raiders are going to do it. Maybe Bo Nix can beat Mahomes, because I do think the Broncos do have a defense that can actually compete with the Chiefs in terms of being stout.
Oh wait, I actually just have a phenomenal idea right now. You want to know who's the new Eli Manning? It's Bo Nix. It makes so much sense now that I think about it. So that means in a couple years, fucking Bo Nix is gonna win a Super Bowl with Denver after he beats the 17-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Because that's how this works.
I think with the Chiefs, the Eagles have showed you how to beat them. I think back when we were doing the Super Bowl previews, even I mentioned this. Wanna know how you beat Kansas City, boys and girls? Start fast. You have to start fast. And you always have to keep the game out of reach. If you do that, if you start slow, you go sluggish, that's how the Chiefs want to play you. They want to play you tight. They want to play you tight and in the most boring style of football possible. But guess what? This shit somehow works every single year. It works every single time. Are we tired of seeing it? You bet your ass we're tired of seeing it. But I mean, the only guy that can beat the Chiefs is Joe. It feels like it's Joe Burrow. But guess what? The Bungles are owned by probably the worst owner in the NFL right now. So.
Oh wait, hang on. They also do take on the Eagles, don't they? That could potentially be a loss since the Eagles actually have the same strengths
Hmm?
as the
So,
Chiefs.
No, you poor Summers child. You think the Chiefs are gonna lose to the Eagles? No, that won't happen. Because you know what's gonna happen? Jalen Hurts is gonna get injured week 1 and he's gonna be out for week 2, and then he'll be right back for week 3. Because that's how this team fucking works. They're one big, oh, I'm gonna get ya, oh, I gotcha. It's just one fucking kerpranked. I feel like I'm being punked every time I'm watching this fucking team. They're not fun. They're not interesting. They're the same boring shit. They are the fucking Transformers franchise. They are the epitome of nothing but endless slop.
honey, I hope
Anyways,
you're
floor and
listening to
ceiling's
this.
9 and 16. Floor's 9, ceiling 16. Let's move on.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna. I haven't said. Quickly. Ceiling 17, or is like 10. Next. Oh wait, the horse.
Oh.
What's the horse jugger?
I already gave the horse for the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
But if you guys want to hear it again, it's Symboli Rudolph, the Eternal Emperor. Again, Eternal Emperor says all we need to know about the Chiefs.
Well, I heard you like gambling, chat, so, let's go gambling!
The additions.
Dang it.
They added Geno Smith from the Seahawks, Alex Kappa, guard from the Bungles, Jermaine Pratt, linebacker from the Bungles, Jeremy Chin from the Washington Commanders, Eric Stokes from the Packers, Raheem Mostert from the Dolphins. Their draft, they took Ashton Ginty, Jack Beck from TCU. They took Darren Porter, cornerback from Iowa State, Caleb Rogers from Texas Tech, Charles Grant from where?
Charles Grant from...
William and Mary.
William and Mary.
Yeah.
Deontay Thornton, wide receiver from Tennessee. Tonka Hemingway, defensive tackle from South Carolina. Your mystery bag is JJ Pegas, PT from Ole Miss. Tommy Mellott from Montana?
Montana State.
Montana State. And then Cam Miller from North Dakota State. Right?
Yep.
North Dakota State. And then Cody Lindbergh from Minnesota!
All right, I want to quickly say before we go anywhere else, the Raiders winning those 2 games against the Jaguars and Saints is the reason why they're getting Geno Smith and not a potential quarterback that could change their franchise. I know they got Ashton Ginty. I know their running game was pretty bad last year, but their quarterback game was even worse. They were running out Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell for all 17 games. Those 2 wins cost them a quarterback.
I don't think Geno Smith
Just for
is
that
a
reason, and I know Ashton Genty's great. I know he is. But for that reason alone, for the fact that they had to resort to Geno Smith, who I do like, but I don't think he's going to be able to. But I don't think he's going to be able to push the needle for the Raiders to anything more than respectability, at least. But for that reason, I still think they're going to be the worst team in the AFC West.
I'm conflicted about them, but I'll let you go ahead first.
I think the thing with the Raiders is this is the transitional time. This is
Luke, you have to change it to the other slide.
Pete Carroll. Oh, sorry. We'll have to. Damn it! Don't distract me. They lost the Andre James. He went to the Chargers. Gardner Minshew went to the Chiefs. Alexander Matheson went to the Dolphins. Harrison Bryant went to the Eagles. Devon Diablo went to the Falcons. Nate Hobbs went to the Packers. Trayvon, what? This guy went to the Panthers. Robert Spillane went to the Patriots. Clavon Chasen went to the Patriots. And John Jenkins went. I think the thing with me and the Raiders is I love Pete Carroll. Signing Max Crosby this year, huge. That's massive. That is a massive key piece. But this feels like the time of being in transition. I don't think you're gonna be that Pete Carroll's gonna be here for very long. I give it 2 years before the next coach is gonna be selected, and he's currently on the coaching staff for the Raiders. It's gonna be any one of them. It's more they're kind of just overseeing and waiting for the time to. Yes, you have Geno Smith, but Geno Smith is not gonna really push your roster forward, right? You didn't do that in Seattle, and you had the receiving core of JSN, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. And you really didn't blow anybody away, really. I mean, the Raiders team, it's, again, winning has a cost to it, and winning costs you Cam Ward. True, last year's quarterback class wasn't the class to really tank and everything, but it feels like this year should have been where you bottom everything out, not try to really improve the roster, which feels like it's what they did. Yes, this roster is improved, but look, you're missing that quarterback that's really going to push you over to the top. I love Pete Carroll and all. I love his competitiveness as a coach. I don't think this is the year for the Raiders.
Neither do I. But I do think that they could at least be respectable. It all depends on if Geno Smith can keep up his Seahawks form. Ashton Genty is an incredible player, and I definitely do think he's going to carry the Raiders to a couple of wins. But even the Eagles needed a pass. But even with Saquon Barkley, the Eagles needed a passing game, and those are the Eagles. The Raiders are not the Eagles.
I'm oddly high on the Raiders. I think this is I'm gonna say this outright right now. I think NFC North aside, I think this is the second best division in football. I think by none, there's no other team that is. I mean, no other division that is better than this one. Because, again, when you look at all four teams, you have B+ quarterback play and above behind all of them. You have at least. I disagree. I will get into why later. But essentially, my entire thing is this entire division has B+ quarterback play. They all have a tremendously good run. They're all hoping to have tremendously good run games this. They all have a very good tight end target to throw to going into this year. Well, actually, not really the Chargers, but they don't use a tight end, so I don't think it really counts. They all have very solid-looking defenses, and they're very well coached across the board on each team. I think the only reason why I have the North better is because I think their ceiling's a lot higher, and their floor is, even though it's a slightly bit lower than the AFC West, I think the North has a higher ceiling. But getting back into the Raiders, I think this is going to be a team that really surprises people. Gene T, now granted, Gene T is going to be going up against NFL athletes this year. Yeah, we have to keep that in mind. Still, Ashton Jeanty will be a day one game changer. Everyone will have to game plan around him. And you want to know something? When you have to game plan around a running back, you know who's the most likely to get open every single time? The tight end. And Brock Bowers is making a case to being the best tight end, not even just in his own conference, but in the NFL. And that was after one season.
I do grant that they do have, again, I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. I
will
think below average where my expectations are for the.
I'm going to say this outright right now. I think if the Raiders were in the AFC South, they win the division. They win that division.
No.
I think they win it handily.
That's
Handily a stretch.
That's a stretch.
They would compete for it.
They would compete with it, yes. But I think for the Raiders right now, there's not really a whole lot of pressure to compete right now. This is the let's enjoy Ginty. Let's enjoy what we have. Keep your expectations low. Your next head coach is in. Next head coach is in this current coaching staff. Pete Carroll is here as more of a mentor than head coach right now.
I get that.
Yeah.
Still,
it's a mentorship role, which is why I think this is where the Raiders expectations low. Pete Carroll's going to be working with the depth guys. He's going to be giving everybody here a chance to really compete. I think the Raiders would probably be the most to watch out of this division, but
I just don't overly agree with the sentiment that the Raiders are a below average team. I think more than
if everything goes well, I can see them being another Titans-esque team, the Tannehill Henry Titans, a team that thrived on the play action.
Yeah, I think this. I was about to get into that. Luke, whenever Geno Smith was on the Seahawks last year, and whenever I watched him, you want to know the number one thing that I saw that he really got defenses to fall for? The play action. And with Gene T and Brock Bowers, the two main options whenever you're doing a play action play, I think if they go heavy on run game, they run a lot of play action, they really wear it down with the defense, wear it down with Gene T, throw it with Bowers, and hell, you even got a solid option at Jacoby Myers at wide receiver 1. I mean, I don't think there's anything stopping the Raiders from handily exceeding expectations. I think they are going to be a good team. And the fact of the matter is, I don't agree with the sentiment that Geno Smith isn't a good quarterback, because
He's a good quarterback. The question is if he's
the back quarterback.
The question is if he's a needle mover.
Average.
I don't think he's average. I think more than anything, he is an above average quarterback in the NFL. I think he's nowhere near the top 10, but he does move the needle. Keep in mind that last year, they were having abysmal QB play, and now they're going to get someone. You're going from assuming we go from off Geno Smith being a B quarterback, you're going from D+ play at quarterback to a B grade at quarterback. And this team won what? Like 5 games last year?
4 games.
In 4 games? They won 4 games last year in one of the tougher divisions in football. Are you saying that Geno Smith can't somewhat reasonably get this team about 4 or 5 more wins?
I mean, I will agree they are getting anything's better than Aiden O'Connell. Anything's going to be their upgrade at QB is very notable. You're absolutely right, but I still think that they're missing many key pieces. I mean, if their O-line is really good, if their O-line play is again above average, then maybe I could see everything would have to go right for them to win 10 games. Just maybe. But I think right now we're not there yet. I don't think it's the Raiders' time quite yet. But I think they're going to definitely be better than last year. I think you're going to be better than last year. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're just more of the same.
I don't think there'll be more of the same. I think more than anything, I don't know. I don't see this team being bad. I just don't see how they'll be bad. Like, I don't see them being 4 wins. I don't see them being 5 wins, even at their worst. I think they're a very low floor, high floor, low ceiling team. I think there is as much as you can expect from Geno Smith from this team, but I think the worst you get from Geno Smith can still net you a significantly better record than last year. But Geno talk being done and over with, there is one other thing I want to highlight real quick. So, you know how so on there, we have wide receiver / QB Tommy Mellott. So, chat, I'm sure none of you have heard of Tommy Mellott ever in your life. Well, yeah. But you want to know the best thing about this guy? He might be the new Julian Edelman. The former quarterback transformed into wide receiver after he's been drafted. Because Tommy Mellott is a heck of an athlete. He is a extremely fun player. He was possibly one of the best players in the Big Sky last year. He is incredibly fun to watch, and I say this more so as a hope more than anything. If they can somehow get some Tommy Mellott play as like a gadget guy or as like a quarterback or wide receiver or anything, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun looking at this guy going into the future. And now I'm not gonna say this guy's gonna be an immediate impact or anything like that, but he is going to be a heck of a guy. Now going back to their more other picks, I think Jack Beck was a really good pickup for this wide receiver room, especially considering Jacoby Myers was still the best option on that team. Darian Porter is a decent option as well, and I really like that they went back-to-back on the offensive line, double dipping, and all that aside, I mean, I do agree that the Raiders are going to be... They're going to have to go through a lot, but I don't know. I'll leave the floor to everyone else because I've kind of yapped about them a little bit longer than I should have.
Yeah, I think it's time for a guy who's been watching this team for many years to talk about him now. Because, oh boy, I've gotten to watch every Raiders game I've gotten to watch, and a lot of times, well, the majority of times, they've ended in losses. Very bad losses. And the Raiders last season were a disaster. They were a train wreck out there. And contrary to popular belief, no, the Raiders weren't always intending on punting the season last year. That was not always the intention. But it was very early on.
2-2, did they not? Maybe the
Yes,
Raiders.
they did. They did start 2-2. But it was early on when the Raiders pulled the plug last season. And the moment that happened was when Davante Adams got traded. Now, granted, I think that trade went pretty well for the Raiders, but from that point on, the Raiders were in tank mode. When your quarterbacks are Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and Desmond fucking Ritter, yeah, you're going to be in tank mode. And the Raiders were doing the best job they possibly could at tanking. They had some truly hilarious moments last season. But in the most Raiders fashion possible, they won 2 games towards the end of the season and would not have the quarterback. Now, granted, and I know that long-term wise, this will remain to be seen depending on how the Raiders' quarterback situation goes forward. But as much as it sucks not being able to get someone like Cam Ward, getting Ashton Jeanty is easily in my opinion, the best consolation prize. And you know why? Because the Raiders' run game was one of the most dog shit fucking run games I have ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this Raiders run game, it was putrid. It was garbage. Like, it was horrible. And if you want to know, like, just how bad the Raiders run game was last season, they did not have a running back rush 100 yards in a game last season until week 17. And that running back was Amir Abdullah. So, like,
But Nick, you're telling me Amir Abdullah doesn't move you? You're telling me that Alexander Madison isn't a good pickup? But
I had to put up with 18 weeks of this crap. I know I am. Oh boy. Listen, I know it sucks to not get Cam Ward, but Ashton Jeanty, especially for this situation, is genuinely the best consolation prize they could have gotten here. And I feel like in this offense, this is something that for Ashton Jeanty, this is probably, in terms of coaching wise, considering like Ashton Jeanty really is just the perfect Pete Carroll running back. Like, probably the best situation for him to go to, especially with Pete Carroll as head coach and offensive coordinator being Chip Kelly. So the Raiders made a lot of changes this season, a lot of good changes. They fired Tom Telesco, which is a little surprising. It was no surprising that Pierce got fired, but Telesco did get them Brock Bowers, so a successful 1-year tenure for him, and you bring in John Spytek as your general manager. And for the offseason, the Raiders made a lot of moves. They made a lot of moves in the draft that has been talked about. And I guess I might as well just talk about like what's going to be the main points for this upcoming Raiders season. Because obviously a lot of eyes are on Geno, going to the Raiders after getting traded by the Seahawks. And look, I'm just going to say it with Geno and what my thoughts are. I feel like Geno gets both overrated and underrated at the same time. I feel like there are people that don't give him enough credit for what he does. And Geno, in my opinion, he's an okay quarterback. I think he's an okay quarterback, and I think he still needs to prove a little more to be good, but he's okay, and that's fine. That's fine considering that you're upgrading from the absolute garbage you had last season. That's fine. But I also feel like there's some people who try and make the claim that Geno Smith is a top 10 quarterback. And I'm sorry, I know that he's had to deal with bad O-line play, but I'm sorry, when your touchdown to interception ratio is 21-16, that's not a top 10 quarterback. I'm sorry. However, with all that being said, Geno is a massive upgrade. And he has weapons to work with. Like BT got mentioned, Brock Bowers is making a serious case for being the best tight end in football right now. And that was after just one season. Imagine what he's going to do in year 2. And they got, they drafted some receivers, but I feel like a lot more attention needs to be given to Jacoby Myers. Because Jacoby Myers does not get the respect that he deserves. He might just be the most underrated receiver in the NFL right now. And that comes from the fact that the man got a 1,000-yard season last year when his quarterbacks were Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and Desmond Ridder. That takes some serious work to get a 1,000-yard season from that quarterback trio. And to add to that, there is one thing I found that I want to add about the whole Jacoby Myers thing. The stat of notable contested catch rates versus press coverage. You got the familiar names on there: Justin Jefferson, Drake London, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, and in second place, you have Nico Collins at 66%. In first place on that list was Jacoby Myers at 77%. The dude's underrated. Like, if you hear this and you don't think he's underrated, I don't know what to tell you. The man just balls out there. And granted, maybe he was always destined to be a good Raiders player the moment he threw that ball to Chandler Jones. Maybe that was always destiny. But the reality is the Raiders have Geno Smith has a strong weapons department to work with, and he has Ashton Jeanty to hand the rock to. Now, I have seen a lot of questions about the Raiders' O-line. And trust me, it is not a perfect O-line. I'm not really a fan of the Alex Kappa signing. I don't really like that. I think he just wasn't really good with the Bengals last season, and honestly, I feel like that's just not the best guy you could have at right guard, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the rest of the O-line on this team gets a little slept on. Like like at left tackle, like at tackle, you have Colton Miller, who had, of all the things that went wrong for the Raiders last season, he actually had a great season last year, so he's reliable to have. You have Donald, or not Donald, Dylan Parham at guard. He had a strong year last season, and two names that I want to bring up: Jackson Powers Johnson and EJ Glaze, because they were both rookies. They were rookies for this Raiders team last year, and they had some issues here and there, but they, for the most part, showed a lot of promise last year. And considering how it feels like a lot of times offensive linemen usually struggle a lot in their rookie seasons, it was pretty nice to see them show that promise, especially Jackson Powers Johnson towards the end of the season. And I remember DJ Glaze, he had a really strong showing against the Steelers when he was out there having to block TJ Watt. So I feel like this O-line, it is not a perfect O-line, but if Glaze and Powers Johnson develop, it's going to be a strong offensive line. And that's going to be huge for this offense. Huge for someone like Ashton Jeanty coming into the NFL. Huge for Geno Smith, who's often had to play behind a shitty offensive line. Like, so it's like how the offensive line does is going to be something to watch for. The defense, like the front seven, should be good as long as Crosby's out there. It should be a very strong front seven. I do want to highlight Landon Roberts from the Steelers, who they signed this offseason to a very affordable deal. He had a strong year last year for the Steelers. He was one of the better linebackers in the NFL, and I think he could provide a very good impact to this Raiders defense, led by Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham. There is just one massive question I have with this Raiders team that I think will probably be the biggest thing holding them back. That being the secondary, because their secondary is basically filled with guys that aren't terrible per se, but they're not really good. Like you got guys like Isaiah pull him out. We butchered that pretty badly, but you got guys like Jeremy Chin, Eric Stokes, and Renee Holmes, because there was a lot of turnover in the secondary this offseason, which is not a surprise because I know Pete Carroll loves his secondaries, and he's probably going to have a big say on that going forward. I will say that with the Darren Porter will probably be gaining a lot of reps for the Raiders early on, as he's their third-round pick from Iowa State. I think he could play a big role in the secondary, but for the most part, I'm not really sold on the Raiders secondary, and I think it's probably their biggest weakness in terms of overall position. But going over that, you can tell that the Raiders, compared to last season, there is a lot of improvement here, at least on paper. And I feel like the goal of the Raiders this season should be to see progress. I don't think this is the year to make the playoffs. And honestly, as great as that would be for the Raiders, as great as it would be to see them in the playoffs, this just isn't that year. Like, this is not the year for them to be that playoff team, but it is the year for them to show considerable improvement. And whether that's getting to like 8 wins or so, I think that would be considerable improvement to where they were last season. And if the Raiders can do that, that would be a welcome sight because, like, looking at the roster here, this is not a bad Raiders team. I don't think they're a bad Raiders team at all, but they feel closer to average, like a work in progress, than I would say for sure is a good team. I need to see the Raiders try and prove to me that they're a good team. But for right now, this team is definitely better than last season. And I feel like the Raiders, I mean, I think it also doesn't help that they're still in the AFC West, and it's as brutal of a division as it's ever been. And despite the fact that the Raiders have improved, they're still having to face the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers. All those teams, they went 0-6 against them last season. That was honestly a big reason why they got rid of Antonio Pierce. So, yeah, it's going to be a wait and see with this Raiders team.
The Raiders' Yap Sesh has been truly legendary.
Mm-hmm. And the
Uh,
Raiders are really just kind of the odd mans out of the entire division, though, where you got like an entire division full of murderers, and then you send in SpongeBob SquarePants in there.
Going off of what Nick said, is this could be again? I'm being talked more into slightly buying a little bit of Raider stocks, a little bit. They have no expectations here, and those are the teams that are the most dangerous. I think look at the Raiders very late into the season. They're going to be playing spoiler to a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be the one thing to really watch out for, especially for the Chargers or the Broncos. Hell, maybe somehow the Chiefs. Preventing the Chiefs from making the playoffs, and if you're the team that does it, yeah, that's going to be a huge boost. But at the same time, I just feel like I can't think. I'm still a little bit conflicted with them. This is a year that if they, it's a very good but like he played against the Mountain West, man. uh, the fifth best conference in college football is the Mountain. Mountain West is the best of the group of 6 schools. I just need to. I have to see results first, and the minute when we see results, people are going to be buying into the Raiders. This is the year they have to show something that's going to get people to really buy into the Raiders. I mean, I hope Pete Carroll does well, but remember, you 6 of your games are the Death's Gauntlet, and if you're going to go 0-6, it's going to be very hard for anybody to take them seriously.
I suppose that's fair.
My ceiling for them is 9 wins. My floor is.
I'm going to say for the Raiders, let's give them a ceiling of. I'm gonna be generous. Let's say 10. And for their floor, I'm gonna say 7.
9-4. I also think they could be the recipient of one of those ties.
Maybe.
I'm going to go with a floor of 5. I don't think they're going to be as bad as last season. I don't think it's going to be 4 wins level of bad. So I think at worst, they'll still be better than last year. But ceiling, the highest I can see this team doing, I could maybe see 11. So I think 11's a fair ceiling.
Tucker, what's their horse?
I don't really know, so I'm just gonna use the Boise State mascot as their horse, just for Aston Ginty.
Alright!
And they're my floor for them. Say like I don't really have like a floor for them. I'm not saying that they could go like 0-17 though. They have too much talent for that.
The Raiders aren't going to be the worst team in football. I don't think
Yeah,
that.
no.
At least with Ginty and Geno Smith, they're at least they're at least going to be a respectable team.
Yeah, this is like a team that's screaming at worst 6 wins, but they're definitely feeling like a 9, maybe 10 win team. You know, middle of the pack will probably miss the playoffs, but vast improvement over last season. And hopefully they can get a quarterback sometime, because that's what they really need. And like as Nick was saying, a strong safety.
Yeah. Well then, before we head out for tonight, I do have some things to discuss. So, this year we're of course not doing the randomization of teams. So we have to sit here and now decide. I do not know that. I do not know what we were going to do next week. However, I can say with certainty that it will not be. Or wait, it might be the AFC South next week, right?
Yeah,
Did we talk?
Let's do the South thing.
I have to talk with people about that just to make sure our schedules lined up and everything. Think AFC South. Worst comes to worst. We'll do. I'll have to talk with Freeman about that. We'll just do like we'll just do something like the fuck. Fuck, that is... God, this is rough. We'll just do...
It's gonna be a division. What will it be? I don't... Fuck. No.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. It might be the AFC East. I might be able to talk to my guys and see if we can't get them in. But, we'll see.
Down to see. Damn it!
If you're wanting to know what we will be doing, reminder, we have a Twitter account, Untitled Sickos Project. It's the same as the channel name. You can't miss it. Follow us on that. Follow us. Join our Discord. It's in the description. Please join us.
I've had to ban somebody for that.
Yeah, please don't do that. Luke gets very sad when you post when you post things about the Mariners. Luke gets very upset when you have to post stuff about when you post mean things about the Mariner, especially about Cal Rowley's fat ass.
Cal Rowley's got a great big dumper. I've literally never bad about it other than treasure.
Well, other than that, we'd like to thank you guys so much for watching the AFC West preview. We'll see you next Friday, and actually, I have one small thing to actually no, screw it. Just sleep well, everybody. Good night.
Last thing, curse mode. Wait, it's not cursed anymore. What the?
Wait, before we go, perhaps we should do some Amharic chants to get rid of the Chiefs' demon magic. It might not work, but it's the best chance we got.
True.
Be gone, devil magic!